Hello everyone, and this week we are going to be looking at calculating percents and solving percent problems. So we'll get going here with a little bit of review. Um, the first one is actually taken from page 105 in your Math Makes Sense Workbook 8, and it says number 3, write each percent as a decimal. So this is just a quick review on how we convert from percent to decimal. And how we do that is quite simple actually. All we're doing is dividing by 100. Okay, so if we take 230 and we divide it by 100, we get 2.3. Okay, if we were going the other way and we wanted to convert from a decimal back to a percent, all we do is multiply by 100. Okay, and another example here, we want to go from 185%. If we divide by 100, you can use your calculator for that if you like. Or another quick method is just to move the decimal 2 places from the left. As you know, the decimal is assumed to be at the end of the number on the right-hand side. If we slide that decimal over 1 place, 2 places, it's the same thing as dividing by 100. So we're going to get 1.85 for 185%. And again, if I wanted to do the opposite, if I wanted to come from decimal back to percent, all I would have to do then is then multiply by 100. Okay, now don't let the decimals mess you up in these questions. You do the exact same way. Okay, so all we're doing here is dividing by 100. So we'd move the decimal over 2 places, or you could use it in your calculator. So here we're going to be left with 0.0074. Okay, and so on and so on. This one here would be 0.007. Okay. A quick review right here, going from a fraction, this is from page 106 in your booklet, going from a fraction to a percent. All right, all we have to do is first divide and get it to a decimal, and then multiply it by 100. Okay, for example, 1 divided by 2 here is going to equal 0.5. And then all we do is take that 0.5 and then multiply it by 100 to get from decimal to our percent. And we're going to see that 1 over 2, or a half, is equivalent to 50%. Excuse my slow writing. Okay, so I could do the same for all of these other questions here. I could say 3 divided by 2 is going to be 1.5, and then all I'll do is multiply by 100, and that's going to give me 150%. Okay, so quite simple. And again, if I want to go from here back to decimal, all I would do is divide by 100, okay, and move the decimal 2 places over. Okay, so quite simple, and that's just a quick review of that for you guys. Okay, this next example is from page 108 in your booklet, number 2. A says 6% of a number is 9. Now we have to find out what this number is. We know it's going to be a bigger number than 9 because only 6% of that mystery number is equal to 9. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, there's a couple of ways, but I'm going to show you the easiest. Here we go. So what we want to do is find what 1% equals. Then we can multiply that number by 100 and find out what this number is. Okay, so how do we go about doing that? Well, what we do is we take our known number, which is 9, and we divide it by the percent in which it equals. Okay, so you're going to be given two numbers in all these examples. The number on the denominator is going to be the percent that you know. Okay, so we know that 6% is going to be equal to 9. Okay, so 6 goes on the bottom. When we divide that number, we're going to get 1.5. So 1% of the mystery number is equal to 1.5. So how do we get the mystery number? Well, we multiply it by 100. Okay, so 1.5 equals 1%. Well, the mystery number is 100%, so we multiply by 100. And of course, we're going to get our mystery number to be 150. Okay, so for this example here, like I said, let's write out our knowns. We know that 56 is equal to, this is divided by 28. Okay, so when we divide that, we actually get 2. 58 goes in, 28 goes into 56 twice. Now we know that 1% of a number is 2, so we take that 2 and we multiply by 100, and you get 200. Okay? Same even for this big number here. Obviously, we're going to get a decimal at the end because we're going to have our 36 is equal to 150%. When we divide that out to solve our 1%, we're going to get 0.24. And then, of course, to get our 100% of a number, we multiply it by 100. Okay? And that's the same as moving the decimal 2 places to the right. So we actually just end up with 24. Okay? So our mystery number in that case is 24. Final example I'll do with you is number 3 on page 108, which reads, write each increase as a percent. Illustrate each answer on a number line. I won't bother doing that part. The width of the rectangle increased from 8 to 12. Okay, so what we're looking for here is the percent increase. This comes in handy if you want to calculate, your future investments. For example, if you buy a home 1 year and over 5 years it increases from 300,000 to 400,000, what was your return on investment? How much did the value of your home increase? Okay, so what we want to do is find the difference between our initial and final. Okay, and we do that by saying, well, there's 4 in between 8 and 12. Okay, so 12 minus 8, that gives us a change of 4 centimeters. Now, we want to indicate here our change over the original size, okay, of the rectangle. For example, if your home went up $4,000 or $40,000 and your original price was $80,000, you would put 80,000 on the bottom. Okay, so wherever your original one goes on the bottom. And this, of course, is the same as saying a half. Okay, 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. So it increased by half. So how do we represent that as a percentage? Well, we just say our half, which is the same as 0.5. We multiply that by 100 to get a percent, and we'll end up with 50%. Okay, so an increase of 8 from 8 to 12 centimeters represents an increase of 50%, which means 4 was half of the original amount. Okay, that's what that means. And this will be percent over here. Okay. Another quick example, the price of a hotel room increased from 90 bucks to 120 bucks. That sucks. Okay, so we want to calculate the percent increase. So first we calculate the difference. 120 minus 90 gives us a difference of $30. And our original price goes on the bottom. Okay, just like our last example. So when we do that, we get that crazy number of 33.3 repeating. Okay, And that represents our percent increase. This is after you multiply it by 100, of course. Okay? So that'll be an increase of 33.3%. Oops, that's supposed to be a dot. Okay, and that's it for me this week, guys. Good luck on your tests, and please see me if you need extra help. Take care.